go.
What's up, guys? So today we're going to have a fun special talk about a topic that all three of us think is really important and needs to be had based on the temperature of the agent environment today. And so today I have Andrew Lee here. You guys know him. He's the main man when it comes to ACA, covered California. You all know he's the expert that you need to go to when you need any help with that. And we got our main man, Kyle Kokot, who is an expert in the Medicare world and also found out that he's an expert when it comes to the marketing game. This guy is legit, knows his stuff. Both of them, agency owners, both of them do not only situations where they work with LOAs direct to them, but they also have a downline. And today's topic is going to be more about hierarchies. That's what we want to talk about, hierarchies, and we want to talk about what agents should expect from their uplines in terms of their compensations, in terms of the support they're going to receive, and try to set more realistic expectations so that not only is the agent not disappointed when they have certain conversations, but they go into them, I think, with a better frame of mind so that you're setting yourself up for a better potential relationship with whoever your upline is that you choose, right? Is that fair to say?
Boom.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
Yeah. So Kyle, let's start with you because a lot of guys have seen us do videos before, and I want to give you a quick minute to just tell them your background and let them know currently what you do, what you mainly focus on, and how you got into the business.
yeah. Well, thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me on. And so we own I like to say, a small local agency in Charlotte, North Carolina area called Carolina Senior Benefits. We opened that up in it'll be 5 years this month. Actually, on the 11th this month will be 5 years since we had opened. So very excited about that. Building an LOA agency, so we're very geared up to build a LOA agency where we can bring in agents, supply leads, support, training, everything else you can think of, where you can make a great living and just kind of achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve. So, when I got started in this business, I had no idea what marketing, ads, any of that was. I was always, buying leads from somebody. And, now we've got it kind of more or less to a point where we're able to, bring in whatever we want at whatever level and kind of be able to train that back out to people and kind of help them grow along the way. So it's been quite a journey, and I can't thank, a lot of people along the way that kind of helped me get to where we're at. We've never been short of resources and support. This industry has absolutely changed not only my life, but my family's life and everybody else who's been working with us along the way. So can't thank guys like Eric and Andrew enough for, the support and everything else that they put in and pour into it. The free information that they give, the amount of free information out there is insane to me. So like I said, thanks for having me on. And that's a little bit about my story.
Awesome, man. Well, let's get into the topic then of downline agents. Andrew, you got into this realm in the last couple of years now, right? Because you were personally producing for a while. Now you're in the place where you can teach and train others to basically go out there into the market and grow. What do you experience most often that I guess, I don't want to say triggers you, but at least get you to the point where you're just like, this isn't a good fit, and why?
Nothing triggers me, really. It's very much, you're right. If it's a good fit, right? And I'm not triggered because I have I'm
sorry for saying that word. Sorry, I shouldn't have used that word. That's
2025. You can totally use that word as everybody. 2025, right? Yeah. So, I have expectations myself as an agency, right? And me giving the same expectations back to the agent. So what I always say is like, I can lead you to the door, right? But I can't help you cross it. So my job is 50%, which is 100% of my job is 50% for you, right? Now, the only thing you have to do is cross it. Now, the reason why, the one thing that maybe grinds my gears are, of course, if we're putting in a lot of effort and agents aren't really taking in the advice or taking the action, life happens, but it happens to everybody. And let's just be real. Like, I'm not talking to you guys like clients. I'm talking to you guys like people who are going to dominate in the industry. Life happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And So if you're gonna sign on to this whole thing, get a license, make sure, like, do this whole research, and maybe you've been in the groups for like 2 years and you've been shadowing. Finally, you make that decision, make that move forward, and then you don't do your 50%. Guess what? I'm not happy about that. And so I do a lot of screening, like I don't recruit publicly too much. You guys, if you guys know me, you know I don't, even though I can. It's because I want the people that reach out to me to be the type of people that I want, and I do an interview process. I don't just like take on anybody, because there could be one poison agent that could cancer the whole agency. I'm very protective of that. So it's more like an interview process for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
cancer
on.
spreads, that's for sure.
Yeah. What for you, and when agents come to you saying, hey, I want to look to you potentially as my mentor or upline, and what resources and support do you give? I guess where's the point that you, again, like him, say maybe this isn't a good fit?
Yeah, I'm going to use myself as a guinea pig. So, I like to say more recently, we kind of got our ducks in a row, is what I like to say. So, for us, we always gave up more to get more help and support. So, like, for me, it was always like, you hear about all these top comps and everything that you can get with the production you do. And I'm coming to find that you can't really do that production without help and support. It doesn't matter what you do, it's just not going to be there. So if you're not willing to give up a little bit to get a bigger return, I guess you can say, for us, that's tenfold our business. I mean, we gave up more where they were getting overrides and everything else that everybody I keep hearing complains about, that they're not getting this. But at the end of the day, without that, we wouldn't be where we are. We're not able to kind of be in the position now where we can be able to actually train out, show you Facebook ads, show you LOA style, like everything that goes on to running an agency at a high level. I'm your own guinea pig of that's exactly what we went through. So I'm always going to say, you definitely always want to look up to somebody that's kind of doing exactly what you're trying to do in the same realm, and make sure they're doing it at a high level. So
Yeah, I would say that one of the things that I've noticed most often in a lot of the groups when people complain about their uplines, or maybe even conversations with other uplines, they have a bad or a false expectation of what they should be getting, because the way they approach the conversation is, hey, you're making money off me. Like, if I'm giving you this money, like why should I be giving you this money? And it's almost like you're taking it away from them, right? Like, It's like, hey, you're taking money out of my paycheck, and now you're getting that override. They're considering that override like it's their money. And I think that maybe that could be one of the points of contention, right, where it starts, because of maybe how they view that. And I think that one of the things we should make clear is, the higher the contracts you get normally, the less support you should actually expect.
Absolutely.
And I don't know that a lot of times that correlates with a lot of people, but that's kind of the truth.
Yep.
It's been like that for a very long time, even though there's been a new wave of new FMOs who have come in and done a lot for the industry, but that still stays the same, that the higher your contract gets, you're getting that higher contract not only because your production reflects it, or even your downline reflects it, but because you should also need less support at that point, right? You know more about the industry, you know more about what you're doing. Do you guys experience that when talking to agents, like that there's this expectation of, hey, if I'm paying you this money, almost like, like they're the ones who are physically giving you the money,
yeah.
If they work with you.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what I'm finding, I like to say I'm newer to this, so I'm kind of just trying to broaden my horizon with it, I guess you can say. I'm finding it seems like a lot of people want to get the most that they can get, and at the end of the day, it has to make sense for both parties. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to work for free. Nobody wants to give their time to show you how to do X, Y, and Z of what you're trying to accomplish. We have businesses we're running, we have families. It's everything else that you're going through. We've gone through it. So I always like to say, you got to resonate with the people that you want to do business with, and make sure the people that you do resonate with, you're making sure they're shifting you in the right direction. So at the end of the day, when you're working with an upline, you always got to put in the perspective, this person is going to try to get me to where I'm trying to go. So is that person putting me in that position that we can get there? So like for us, everybody we've worked with in our uplines have put us in this position to get us to where we're at. So for us, it's always like going back to making sure you're resonating with that person and making sure they're fully taking you on and giving you the actual support. So like if you're unhappy with your upline, I'm always going to say, go have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Ask them about what you're trying to accomplish. Like see what they can help you with. Because 9 times out of 10, they'll give you the help or support. You've just never asked for it. So that's the biggest thing I'm finding. You got all these people that want to jump ship and work with you because you're running ads and you're looking good online and everything's seeming great, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, you have to make sure that, you know, that same upline, just go and talk to them and see what they have to offer you. And then if they're not going to offer you what you were looking for, then it's maybe I've got to give a little bit to get more in the future.
Absolutely.
So that's how I view it.
That, dude, just to piggyback off of that, thank you for saying that last part, because it's like, here's the thing. Let's talk about what both of us are doing, right? Like, I mean, I want to give you this money. I really do want to give it, or I want to get, like, you know, put more attention, or like if you're needing assistance with, you know, whatever the case is, what we initially agreed on, I want to help you with that. But, you know, the expectations are, you know, you gotta produce.
Yeah.
There has to be numbers. There has to be transactions. There has to be physical fiat.
Yeah.
In order for this to work, you know.
Yeah.
So
you got to show that you're taking this business seriously.
Absolutely, and you have to show that you're a business. I mean, it's fine that you're a 1099 independent contractors, people killing it, you know, just, you know, doing that model. But if we're talking in a business sense, then absolutely, I want to hold your hand through the whole thing. It's not going to be overnight, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, nobody is expecting you to be a superstar overnight. It does take time, but again, because of the effort that you will put forth as an upline to make sure to help ensure their success, you need to be compensated, you know, in accordance with that. So that's why, just so you guys know at home, like a lot of times the insurance companies provide these higher contracts to guys like this because their production has already reflected it. Like they've proven that they're at a higher level in terms of production, understanding of the business, capability of taking care of service issues and stuff like that. So because of that, they got those higher contracts. It wasn't just handed to them. And now they're trying in return to do the same to you guys who want to work with them, right? They want to give you guys contracts that match what you're doing, which also means that even if somebody were to come in with you guys at a lower level, at a street level, or maybe even at a GA, but all of a sudden they go gangbusters recruiting their own downline, you guys are all willing to get them bumped up to match.
I mean, if you're going to put in the work, it's based off of merit. I'm happy to do that. I want you to do that. That's the whole point of what we were talking about. Like from the initial phone call, that is what we talked about. Let's all grow together and let's eat and all that, you know, all that stuff we talked about.
Yeah, before you even, you know, working with somebody, it's really kind of finding that number that you can start renegotiating your levels at that point. You know, we bring you on and the whole idea is to get you to where you're trying to go. When you kind of get to that point, well, let's start negotiating higher spreads, you know, and realistically speaking for like us, for example, when we started hitting certain numbers, it was just we were just getting emails. Hey, this is the spread that's moving up. This is the bump that you're getting. It just comes with the territory of you're starting to do more business because of who you're working with. It doesn't happen because you did it yourself. Nothing great comes from doing anything yourself. If you don't have a team behind you doing this, whether you consider your upline, your family, the individuals within your business, you are not getting anywhere in this business without a team. It's not going to happen by yourself.
And here's the thing. We even have our uplines, right? And they have an expectation for us. So let's put us in your guys' shoes, right? They have an expectation for us to produce too, as well, to keep our
you got numbers
levels
to meet. Yeah,
we have numbers to meet too. So we're meeting those numbers, and if, you know, our agents don't meet it, then we have to go into an LOA kind of system where we have to do it ourselves. And that's that sort of pivots. I mean, that's how I pivoted, because I was like, you know, I just can't do it myself, like you just said. So then you sort of go into, okay, I need an LOA model. But then again, we have to produce ourselves too. I mean, some people, you know, have agreements, you know, some agencies get bought out, and there's like a certain expectation from them as well too. So because of that expectation, it should go two ways. I mean, it's just like how they expect that from us. We're going to have to expect that from a new agent as well too.
Yeah, and don't be scared to have uncomfortable conversations.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You got to have uncomfortable conversations with your upline. So again, if you're not happy with where you're at and you're trying to figure out where you're trying to go, have that uncomfortable conversation of what you were trying to achieve, And if they can't get you a clear answer and a target to hit, so again, all these events I come to, biggest thing I'm learning is you got to have targets that you're hitting. And if they're not able to pinpoint a target with you, maybe it's time to start looking and finding another home. And maybe it's not going to be initially what you think it is because it's not the top contracts and all that. You got to get that out of your head. You got to start focusing more on how can this individual grow my agency at a lower level than what I used to be at, maybe if that's the example. But now I'm doing overall more, so it's still the same thing at the end of the day. So, but now you're happier. The business is running more smoothly and building greater relationships in the business, and it just tenfolds.
Would it be fair for an agent to be able to come to you guys and say, listen, I've been online or I've talked to certain people, so I understand that there's other levels, there's higher levels in terms of contracts. Would it be fair for them to come to you and just say, hey, so if I join you, I'm new to this, I need your help right now, I understand I'll come in that street, but is it fair for them to be like, hey, do you already have something standardized that says you hit X amount of apps, you get the first bump, you hit X amount of apps, you get the next bump? Do you guys already have something like that in place, and is that a good idea for agents to ask?
I do. Yeah. Generally, it can be flexible, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the situation and what they're bringing to the table. But yeah, absolutely, you should. Yeah.
Yeah, we typically for us, to be very transparent, we have if you're doing less than 500 apps a year, realistically speaking, that's more or less like a street level.
Yeah.
Once you start getting to that 500 apps, yearly, whether it's by yourself or with other downlines, that's when we can start negotiating other negotiations. Not going to say it's going to be everything because it all depends at the end of the day, the time and support and everything that we're going to put in your business.
Right.
But yeah, you start having those conversations like you're doing more, so there's a bigger spread for everybody at that point. That's when bonuses start hitting and other things start kind of coming into play for everybody at the end of the day. Then you got all these carrier trips, all the extra stuff that goes with it. It's just this business is so rewarding. But yes, to come back to your answer, yes, it is very structured where, before we have a conversation or during that conversation we have with somebody, it's, hey, when you hit this number, this is what we're going to do as negotiations, depending on what you feel you need more help and support with. Right. So it's always having those having another conversation when they start hitting their targets.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that agents do any of them come to you looking for incentive? One of the things that I was incentivized by before, and I know you can't do this so much with Medicare Advantage, but I was always incentivized by trips. It's just like, hey, we're going to be able to do some kind of trip, this or that, and do agents come to you still asking for that, or is that something that's not really a thing anymore? People don't care about trips.
Well, I can talk about me personally. I was just talking to Kyle about this, and my stance on this. Conventions are better than conferences, in my opinion. I'll repeat that back to you. Conventions are better than conferences, meaning conventions are the carrier trips that you win. Now, what's a conference? You pay to,
anyone
pick each
can
other's
pay.
mind.
Anyone can pay.
Yeah, anyone can pay to pick, get some content on stage, pick people's brains here, whatever, restaurants, outings, what have you, and it's all on your dime. And you never know we don't know Sally from Sue, and we just don't know.
Yeah, you might be getting advice from somebody who maybe hasn't really done something.
Precisely. But if you go to a convention, they're good for it, aka carrier trip. They're good for it. So now, when you go to those kind of things, I don't know if they're going to try to tell you something or anything like that, but they're really not. They're on vacation with their family, and they're enjoying the rewards of what they've reaped. So it's not really that. It's just more like sharing, having a Mai Tai on the beach, just what's your system? Oh, this is how I do things. And just
it's definitely more relaxed because that's one of the things that I enjoyed. Obviously, yes, you're around all top producers. So when you're just having those conversations, you're already on the same playing field in terms of production levels and stuff like that. So the conversations can become more granular into just things we could find and tweak in what we're doing every day that can help us excel even more.
And check this out. That carrier trip that you go on is the carrier that you guys all sell. But you guys do everything differently within that one carrier. Yeah. And it's don't you want to learn that?
Yeah. In other words, learning how to cross-sell a different product. For a carrier, you're already writing. So let's just say if they're writing Aetna Medicare Advantage that, hey, Aetna offers trips with these products if you start cross-selling them. Or Manhattan Life, which homeboy over here, number 2 in the company, like
For
it's
chess, just for chess. Don't
Be specific on
Yeah,
that.
comments are gonna be like, no, he's not. No, he's not. Just because
Disclaimers.
I'm there, but I'm
okay.
just
For
disclaimer.
chess. But the point is,
this is how these things spread, and people start hitting you up and are like, wait, this guy did this. Number
Okay.
2 in chess.
okay, number 2 in chess. Which, for those who don't know, that's cancer, heart attack, and stroke. It's, my bad. Okay.
All good. I just
But
wanted
you are
to correct-
still-
I
you're
just
still-
wanted. We're talking about transparency with
Yeah,
hierarchy.
yeah,
That's just
you-
letting you know.
My point is, you're still a badass at producing,
For sure.
and so I'm just trying to make that clear that you're on a chart somewhere.
He's somewhere on the leaderboard.
So I think, so when do you guys also, like when an agent comes to you and they start asking questions, do you encourage them to talk to as many people as they want? You know, go interview all these other guys. Yeah, go ahead and come back to me if you want. But do you think it's wise to just say, go talk to all these people? Or do you think that can cause even more confusion? Maybe you say, listen, my advice is go talk to other people, but maybe just talk to another 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to like 10, 12 people, like
You're getting too broad. You're at that point. You're getting
fishing.
too many ideas. It just starts flooding your mind with stuff you don't need to.
Yeah.
that's
I'm
where
not saying-
paralysis comes in, right?
Exactly. I'm not saying don't go talk to other people. You definitely need to do that. But at the end of the day, you've got to find who resonates with you. I always come back to that. Who's going to resonate with you? So at the end of the day, this guy may offer, an extra override on this, but this guy you're actually resonating with, you've got to pick your battles and figure out, what is most valuable to you.
Right.
It's not about money. If you're doing this business for money, you're at the end of the day, it's not going to work for you. I mean, that's just my opinion. What I'm finding, if your sole goal is the top comps, and well, for one, you got to produce a big number if you want those top comps. But number 2, if you're just doing that's just probably who I don't want to work with. To be very blunt and honest with you, we're going to be in line with people that have the same goals and aspirations and trying to do exactly what we're trying to do. Right. At the end of the day, it's pretty cool that you're talking about carrier trips. Bankers Fidelity, we write a good amount of their, Med Sup, CHAS, Hospital Indemnity Plan. We do obviously with a lot of other carriers. Heartland's a big one for us, but with Bankers Fidelity, we won the Argentina trip. So we literally have 3 of our agents within our office. So me and my business partner happen to be my brother Brandon, and then my sister, who's an agent for us, she won it, and then our top manager Joey. We're all going on this trip together. Just imagine you're going with the people that you love and care about and you're doing business with and you're making a lot of money doing this. And then you go on a carrier trip and you're around all these top producers. And then again, I'm going to be seeing all these guys again at the same trip. So it's like we just keep getting in the same room with the same people. So again, that's why I resonate with these guys and, just a lot of other people in this industry that I'm sure are kind of, watching this and saying, that's who I want to be with. So at the end of the day, have the tough conversations with your upline and then come find the people you resonate with and, try to make it work for yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, I just to answer your question, 2 to 3 is like what my recommendation. And I actually would recommend the people who would fit their personality, or
meaning you're going to say go interview this guy specifically in this.
I'm not going to sway him one way. I'm saying I would suggest, like, if you want to interview somebody like me, or like if like whatever program I'm doing that like you reached out to me for, they're also doing that too. So just try them out, and then whatever, if it works, it works, and then if it doesn't, it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But if it does, just let me know, and then I'll send you over to contracts, and that's that, right?
Yeah.
But the interview process in the beginning, though, I do, I do, of course, have a process, like, at the very least to see if it's gonna be, worth the help. So, yeah, I mean, that's.
So let me ask you guys this: back in the day, when we would recruit somebody and they're new to the business, the big thing back then was, hey, can we do ride-alongs? Can we ride along with you to the kitchen table and see you make a sale? But all 3 of us, our main focus is telephonic sales, right? But do agents still kind of ask and say, like, hey, can I shadow you guys? Can I just like watch over your shoulder for a couple of days and see how you do the whole kit and caboodle? Is that still a thing?
It's still a thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we still have our local imprint. So, I'd say we about 20% of the business that we're doing is coming, obviously locally where it's in person, like they're walking our office, they found us online. It's more of that in person, face to face. So yeah, we have done that, but now it's, we can record everything, and
Yeah.
you have all the recordings. So at the end of the day, you build a video based off of the recordings you already have, and
Right.
in my opinion, it's no differently than kind of like a ride along or a training. So if you're looking to do it telephonically, obviously we can definitely help you there. And even in person, that's literally how we started our business, was all in person. We used to go door to door. We would work telemarketed leads. And so we know how to do the whole in person and building rapport, the whole process there. Happy to, show people that as well. But I just know typically, just especially in our area, if you're, I'm not finding many people who are doing it more or less like kind of in the homes. I know it's still, it's still an art out there that definitely needs to be there, and there are agents for it. But as of right now, just kind of, we can help more people on the phone. And we know the value that we bring. And, if we can help more people by doing it on the phone, that's going to be the goal for us. So.
Yeah, they don't really. Well, shadowing would be more like I would tell my agents to come out to like a presentation or something, rather like an educational seminar, and then just sort of shadow me there and see how I do and all that. Sort of help me pass out favors and things.
There you go.
But also, I used to, well, like record my calls that I was doing on live on video, and it was just crazy because at one point, just so I can, because I bought a batch of leads that my agents were working, so I'm like, I'm gonna lead the charge on this. I mean, if I'm not gonna do it, you guys aren't gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lead the charge, and so I put myself on Zoom live, just like anybody can come in and watch me. I'm just like stretching, doing weird stuff, push-ups, like just going around with my headset, just like going crazy. But like the realness of it, right?
Yeah.
Just like, so I was just like, I just had like a marathon of just like down. And of course I couldn't record all of that, know,
Right.
but it's just like I'll record some of it, like the ones I closed, maybe the highlights. But
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta do that. Like, I mean, that's what I do. And
Yeah.
then that's sort of like the shadowing for phone sales, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That was the best way I could have thought of. I was
Yeah.
just like, dude, I'm just gonna show you literally, and then like share my screen and what I'm doing on my screen.
Yeah.
While I'm, what's
Yeah.
my next step, so.
I think that to kind of close this out, unfortunately, I think too often agents get very much caught up in trying to feel like they want to make sure they got the best deal possible before ever getting started.
Yeah.
I think that it's important. Honestly, street level is plenty of money for what we do, first and foremost. Let me just put that
In
out there.
California, especially.
Yeah, especially in California. But I just think that in the beginning, the agent should just really focus on matching well personality-wise with their upline.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about the money part of it, as long as in writing they're agreeing to up your contracts as you produce and become bigger. Like, that's all you should worry about. If they have that in writing, that they will increase you based on production, and you have a great relationship, like you vibe well, next thing you got to do is just go into just laser focus mode on selling and being the best producer you can be, which is the hardest part for most agents, in my opinion. Like, it's honestly like the talking and negotiating and doing all this. This is easy stuff. Like, because that's not scary to do that. The scary part is actually having to call on leads and set appointments or do sales over the phone. That's the hardest part, and I think that's the part that agents almost try to find excuses to not have to do that. So I'm going to go negotiate with you, or I'm going to work on this contracting stuff with you, or I need to go study through this university and this online training. And, they come up with a million different things when really it's like there's a week worth of training that's maybe needed. And then the rest of it is like trial by fire.
Trial by fire, and then ask. Yeah. And then I don't know what you don't know. And then once you tell me what you don't know, then I can tell you what you should know.
And another big thing I just want to throw is, because we were having the conversation.
I know. I was just about to mention.
Yeah, you probably about to throw it out, is stop comparing yourself to other people. I mean,
always.
Don't look at what I'm doing or what Andrew's doing or what Eric's doing and saying, oh God, these guys are doing crazy numbers. I mean, at the end of the day, it took time to get it to where it's at. If you're looking,
and
at
we're
it like
still
that.
A work in progress.
Exactly. We were talking to other agents today, and we're astonished with kind of the little bit that they actually work and how much they're selling from it. It's like, don't sell yourself short. I mean, you are absolutely crushing it. So just know that you're crushing it, and like what Eric said, make sure you resonate with the people that you want to work with. So. Yeah.
Make sure. I feel like let's finish with that, because comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, it's very, very easy, especially after an AEP, to look online and just keep this in mind, guys. You do see a lot of the bigger guys posting their numbers. They're using that as a way to attract you to them. Okay, I get that. But the thing that you need to remember is you don't know how much money they spent to get in front of people. You don't know how big the team is that's working those leads. So when you're comparing yourself to numbers, you could be, as a solopreneur, comparing yourself to a team of 10 people. And that's why you feel so cruddy, which is why we say, like, don't compare yourself, just grind. Set your own goals, focus on them, go after them, and count on your team to help you to get there. So, you guys have any finishing words, I guess, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, that's for sure. And thanks for having me on, Eric. It's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Awesome.
It's been great meeting you and building a relationship with you now, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's been a pleasure. It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure. Andrew?
No, man, good times here. And yeah, again, don't be scared to ask the questions that you need to ask, and just again, gel with the right people. Like the reason why, like, you have to get along, and then once you guys get along, you'll find out whatever their skill set is, and then you're gonna learn your own respective skill sets, and you might be their mentor in certain ways, but then at that point it's reciprocal, and you might have a better experience. So maybe bring something to the table too. And
Well, it helps that you guys are so gellable. You're easy to get along with. You're good people. You have people. Yeah, you're
cushy.
Smushy.
Oh man, I'm working on it, bro. I'm trying to get less cushy.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. I
guys.
hope you got some value out of this, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Next time,
Yeah.
guys.